seconds remaining.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to what is now our final game of the night as we have Team Freedom taking on Team DileCom here in this two-game series. So here we got Starlight I-League Star Series American Region. I'm Breaky CPK, and I'm joined by CC and C once again. Welcome back. That was quite the long first game there, man.
Yeah, it definitely stretched out quite a while. A lot of back and forth. A lot of initiations, just people getting blown up at the beginning of fights and sort of determine the game in the end. So DileCom pulling it out, maybe with a little bit better of a draft. So Freedom starting off a little bit on the back foot, but going to be looking to take this next game and make it a 1-1 split.
That is the game plan, and they're going to try to do it with a Ember Spirit to kick things off right here. So first pick that Ember. The bans initially was Slaughter and Lone Druid taken away by Freedom. He had the same bans of Abaddon and Shadow Demon taken away from DileCom. You know, obviously they ended up winning that first game, so why not keep to the same bans, they say. But Ember Spirit already kind of changing things up a little bit right here. Tomato, most likely going to be the one to play it.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Ember got through. A hero that we don't really see too much nowadays, as he is just extremely strong right now with the Veil, with the level 10 talent. Just everything about that hero being buffed with roots, extremely good now as well. A hero that really doesn't lose that many matchups either, as it's very hard to push him out of lane unless you can break his shield. So DileCom picking up a whole lot of magic damage, a lot of team fight, some wombo combo, and then Freedom going for the Doom. So BSJ has played this safe lane in the past. I think Juby may have run it once or twice as well. I don't think they've run it off lane, so I would assume it'd either be safe lane or a 4. A little uncommon to see, Doom nowadays, but Freedom does kind of like that hero a little bit. They'll do like aggro tri-lanes with it, and they'll just try and run you over, getting like early phase boosts on the Doom, and just the style of just sort of run you over, constantly fighting. It's also a whole lot of damage over time with the Scorched Earth, the Doom, the Blade spell or whatever it's called, Infernal Blade, as well as all of Ember's damage over time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I personally have not casted a Doom game yet, so this will be fun to see how it works for Team Freedom right here in this game. As you say, it is a very unconventional pick, but if there's a team that's not afraid to pick pretty unconventional, I feel like Team Freedom is up there with them. They are a team that is known for doing some pretty different things with their strat.
Yeah, they don't really care too much about the meta. They just try and play their style in their game, which is admirable and works for a lot of the better teams. Not trying to comply to some meta, looking at what the best teams pick, and just doing what you're comfortable with, doing what you're strong at.
Yeah,
has worked for Freedom in the past, but they have started to fall off a little bit recently. So we'll see if they can get their mojo back.
That's what they're hoping for here, but I do agree. Yeah, it seems like this event may not going nearly as well as expected so far, and again, here they are down 0-1 now to Team DileCom. So the third and fourth bans happening at Shadow Fiend Nyx taken away by Freedom. You have Skywrath and Sand King happening by Team DileCom there.
10 seconds
now
remaining.
Their third pick to come. So yeah, they go with the Darkseer into the Earth Spirit.
5 seconds remaining.
I guess they might be known for playing a Darkseer. Apparently, we were talking about that earlier when we watched in the first series,
Time.
and so they get it here.
Yeah, it's a hero that they like quite a bit. So I think a lot of the South American teams really value this hero. They'll pick him with either a Slaughter or an Earth Spirit or just these roamers, and they'll do dual offlane, so it lets them rotate on mid. And they really like to get aggressive early on with these types of heroes. So they prioritize the Darkseer and get him first pick. And with picking up the Earth Spirit, it gives you just insane team fight, a whole lot of damage over time, so it can break the Ember Spirit shield very easily. Darkseer hero that also goes for Guardian Greaves. So gonna help against the the Mac Guardian Greaves. So gonna help against the damage over time of Freedom. Neither of these heroes really care too much about getting doomed either. So we'll have to see if what they pick for their cores. Doom sort of makes your drafting a little bit unique, as you want to pick cores that don't care so much about not being able to use their spells. As they go for Disruptor. So now just insane magic damage. It's gonna be very hard for this Ember to actually keep the shield up and get into these fights. So it looks like it will be a support Doom or an offlane Doom, with Freedom going for the red draft.
Yeah, apparently they go Lifestealer here with their third pick. Interesting pick there, because that also means, I assume that means that's going to be BSJ now on Lifestealer instead.
10 seconds
and
remaining.
Doom may end up in the offlane, or what?
5 seconds
It
remaining.
could be. So what it could be is a life stealer aggro try with a Doom safe lane solo,
Reserve
or the other
time.
way around um with a life stealer safe lane solo and a Doom and an aggro tri lane.
Reserve time.
I've seen Ix might play a life stealer offlane from time to time,
Dire team
so they may
pick.
be looking to get aggressive with this Doom like they typically do, and then put the life stealer in the safe lane, and they're leaving it
Radiant
ambiguous. They
team
pick up the
banned.
Rubik now, so not picking up an offlaner and showing that the Doom is a support. They do pick up this Rubik, so just overall a nice pick. Good versus the Weaver. Some nice steals this game. You know, the magic damage resistance very, very good versus a lot of
10
DileCom's
seconds
heroes. You know,
remaining.
almost all of them besides this Weaver. And overall, just a
5
nice hero.
seconds
You can steal
remaining.
the wall, steal the vacuum, and also a pretty decent laner. So yeah, Freedom with sort of
Reserve time.
a smorgasbord of heroes,
10
not
seconds
really like
remaining.
clearly defined to one strat. They don't have a vehicle for this life stealer right now as well, so maybe going
5
for
seconds
more of
remaining.
that you know, maybe a little bit of a throwback, but going for like the
Dire
Radiance,
team banned.
walking around the Ancient. We'll have to see what they do with their draft right now. It's a little strange what they're going for. DileCom, just a whole lot of team fight. Weaver, just a pretty decent hero. This game is, you know, not typically great versus the Doom, but very good versus the Life Stealer. Pretty good
10
versus the Ember as
seconds
well,
remaining.
but not the greatest Weaver game ever.
Yeah. The
5
life stealer though, I'm
seconds
kind of stuck
remaining.
up on as well. Again, who they're gonna final pick to, as you mentioned, they don't really have the greatest
Reserve
transport
time.
right now. For the life stealer, I mean, I guess maybe Doom a little bit, but outside of that, they really don't got that. You know, jump in. Ideally, somebody that'll get a blink dagger, or just somebody that can zoom around themselves. So, a lot of the ones that you'd figure are banned, such as the Slaughter and the Sand King. I guess Bat Rider is still an option, but that would be a 4 Bat Rider most likely, unless they plan to run a 4 Doom. I guess could be possible. So I don't know. Just kind of theory crafting here, as far as what they still want to do. But yeah, getting a transport for that life stealer seems like something that Freedom may want to focus on here with their final pick. They're going to wait on their final ban a little bit as they start dipping into some reserve time. What does DileCom need? A mid? Yeah, a middle option, so.
Yeah, most probably a mid for Van. They may consider banning out the Tinker. Yep, they do ban out the Tinker.
Dire
Van, an
team
extremely
pick.
experienced Tinker player, one of the best Tinker players
Radiant
in all the
team
NA
pick.
region. Does extremely well versus the Ember Spirit in lane. Freedom not really having any catch, and they plan on going for that Underlord next as well. So going, you know, more into that push. Looks like it is going to be a 4 Doom, like we talked about. So, you know, some
10
nice utility
seconds
for the Weaver,
remaining.
but a hero that, you know, if you aren't ahead, can fall very behind on damage.
5 seconds remaining.
And you know, just a hero that the Doom is only really useful if you have other disables to
Reserve
back it up,
time.
because people can kind of just walk away sometimes. So not really having a vehicle for this life stealer, and you know, also not the greatest Slark game in the world. It could be a mid Slark. I know it's something that Van likes to play from time to time, and it has a reasonably decent matchup versus the Ember Spirit in lane, but not the greatest Slark game, not the greatest Weaver game. So both teams kind of with some strange picks. DileCom with a really nice first 3, but then going for, you know, these squishy, slippery cores versus a Doom versus an Ember Spirit, some decent catch. So we'll have to see how it plays out. As you know, whoever getting the early start this game, I think is absolutely huge for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, I expected to see some unique stuff from these teams, honestly, in this matchup, but this really is kind of throwing me for a curveball too. Not that I'm the most analytical myself, but you know, even just hearing what you're saying, it's kind of reinforcing my reason to be a little confused almost. But we'll see how they ultimately decide to do things. Eagle is going to be the one playing the Doom here for
Prepare
Team
for
Freedom.
battle.
So yeah, it ends up being more of that 4 position here at the end. And Slark, he is in the hands of Van, as you're kind of getting at. So going to be a mid Slark.
So it looks like it's gonna be. It looks like it will be a mid Weaver actually.
Oh.
Slark starting out with safe lane items. Smash gonna be playing mid this game, and Van actually playing safe lane. I think he is their Slark player, and Slark, once the Ember has some levels, can be a very rough matchup in the lane. And Slark just not good versus Ember in general. The chains kind of own you now that you can't pounce away from it. Has a lot of magic damage, and you can't actually break his shield with one full combo, as it's 500 and you only do 460, so just under the threshold. So kind of unfortunate with the Slark. You know, just overall not really great versus the Ember Spirit. So they're gonna put him in the safe lane. And I kind of wonder how he'll do in the lane, as he's one of the weaker laners in the game. Earth Spirit not also typically not a great safe lane tri-lane hero, and I guess they'll be throwing the Underlord up top. Okay, no. Okay, so the Underlord is gonna be bottom, has the 4-man shield, and it looks like they may go for, you know, stereotypical safe lane, tri lane with the Doom, picking up a creep and then doing whatever he wants.
And then just doing whatever. So yeah, we'll see what Eagle, how Eagle does this game again. Doom kind of the focus of a pretty unique hero that we do not get to see too often. So excited to see what he manages to do. But sure enough, we do got the 2-2 bounty runes. And yep, you're right. Smash here on the Weaver. He is headed towards the middle. And so that means Slark going towards the bottom, but still in the hands of Van, who just kind of swapping their player roles here this time around. But
yeah, Smash also with an extremely interesting starting build. 2 circlets and 2 branches. I guess he wants to go for the Wraithman as well as the Wand, but you know, really not something you typically see, as it kind of shortchanges him a little bit on damage. Has a little bit lower of a mana pool as well. Not really sure on his reasoning. I've never seen this starting build before either, so we'll see how it works out. It's not so amazingly so far as Toronto having a very nice first wave, 4-1. I'm going to be looking to deny the rest of these creeps as you just pick up the Quelling Blade. So Ember should be having a nice time in this lane, as the Weaver really no way to break this Ember shields at all.
Tomato kind of free ran, it feels like, and so far for the great start as mentioned. Bottom lane, IX Mike here on Underlord is going to take some harassment. He'll be fine, but being somewhat boxed out. You look at Darkseer at the top lane. He's got that Iron Shell up, of course, harassing BSJ on the Lifestealer quite a bit. And taking advantage as he pushes up the lane. So Darkseer already proven to be pretty big nuisance here to the Lifestealer. As Underlord will make his way into the jungle somewhat. Doom, he does actually devour and he gets that Thunderclap ability from the Hellbear Smasher. So he's rotating around, see if he can maybe make a play somewhere. As nope, just simply going to get some vision down for the time being. But definitely going to be looking to get some kind of kill, of course, with such an ability.
Yeah, there's just not really anywhere for him to be right now. It's kind of the unfortunate thing. May just have to, you know, just jungle a little bit, looking for some creeps, figure out which one he wants. You know, can jungle at a reasonable speed once he gets some more levels up, but as of now, just sort of walking around, not getting too much done in the top lane. Really not going how Freedom wants it to, as Juby getting his own completely back by this Earth Spirit with the Iron Shell on him as he rolls around, trying to scout him out, maybe hitting some random lucky roll, but doesn't get it. BSJ still having a decent time CS-wise, but not quite on par with the Slark, and the mid lane sort of going the opposite, where the Ember Spirit having a little bit better time than the Weaver, and they get better and better for the Ember as he gets more points in the Flame Shield, and is able to just sort of, you know, farm these waves with no hassle whatsoever.
Watching that down here, he did buy the Tranquil Boots right before he died at least, but he just glimpsed him right back, the level 1 glimpse, and puts him right into a Dark Pact Pounce combo from Slark. Nothing that Doom could do at that point. The kinetic field also kind of blocked him out from going further. So good execution on the part of Disruptor as well as Slark right there, and they set up the first blood onto the Doom. So yeah, Doom kind of just roaming around, really trying to be useful, maybe distracting the supports a little bit, but obviously finding himself a death right there. Not necessarily going as planned.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
See how he continues to do.
Yeah, Toronto actually getting rolled on. Earth Spirit does not have the kick, does have the ooh, but don't think this will be a kill here. It may try and dive the tower, but seems unlikely as Toronto does pick up the bottle off the courier right there. But yeah, like we talked about in the draft, this Doom hero, you know, his ult's very nice versus the Weaver versus Slark. These slippery cores you have a hard time locking down. They use their spells to be elusive, but really yeah, is a hard hero to lane, a hard hero to have an impact in the early game, especially as this 4. So, you know, only level 3 right now. Not doing terribly as the Earth Spirit at level 1, so having a few more levels, but really just not super useful and doesn't really have a place to go like we talked about earlier. Can't kill this Slark down bottom early on, and really only is good at pressuring once he has some more levels. Level 4 has a couple more points up in the Scorched Earth or gets to that Doom.
Tomato just runs down Weaver. You're kind of talking about that possibility now. He's taking some damage to this bug, but obviously going to be fine in the end as he'll just kill it and walk away. But yeah, he just chased him down with the Flame Guard, and Weaver did not have another Shiguchi ready to go, and dove him at the tower, and just simply put, nothing more that he can do. So well played right there. Meanwhile, open wounds at the top lane under Darkseer. Nice lift as he activates the surge right there, but it still will be enough, initially at least, to get away, and I think enough in the end. Meanwhile, Eagle goes down again as Darkseer, yeah, does manage to live. Bottom lane, IX Mike also gonna fall. It's getting a little bit worse even for Team Freedom. Both Doom and Underlord go down at this bottom lane. They're not able to control this bottom lane at all as, oh, Weaver? Okay, he's gonna do some good damage to Weaver there, but
Radiant's top tower
not gonna be
is under
enough
attack.
once again. I think Weaver should be fine. Yeah, he has a bottle, has Shikuchi. There we go. It's gonna be good. But yeah, this Doom, it doesn't seem like it's been the most productive pick, unfortunately, so far. Kind of just sticking to those lines here for Team Freedom.
Yeah, it hasn't gotten the most done. The Ember Spirit, at the very least, is having a very good game with BSJ, getting complete free farm up here. Doesn't have any of those kills the Slark does, so a little bit behind on net worth, but still doing fine for himself. Yeah, like we said, Tomato having a very, very good game, getting the solo kill on Smash, so absolutely huge there, and it's the kind of start they need, this Ember Spirit to be online, to give them that disable they need, so the Doom can, follow up with the Doom, they can chase people down and actually get kills. As other than the root and the lift from the Rubik, not really too much in the way of lockdown, and no real initiators on Team Freedom, as they do have the Underlord, so a hero that gives you some amazing push, some great team fight, as well as just overall tankiness, but you do sacrifice a little bit in the catch department whenever you do go for that hero.
Now, they know Doom's down here, by the way. Disruptor, he's looking for him. He was pinging him earlier. He's got his glimpse, of course, ready to go if need be. A port coming in. I think Doom might be dead here once again, unfortunately. Scorch Earth put down, but I don't think that's really going to do too much in the end for him other than just simply burn them a little bit. I mean, he's doing some pretty decent damage, but actually, again, not nearly enough, and he goes down for his third death, unfortunately, of this game. Meanwhile, the top rune area, Smash actually has another Shikuchi in 1 more second. Roshan, he's going to go down. The timing right there, he was hoping the Shikuchi would come off cooldown a little quicker. Unfortunately, he did not, and he ends up getting dove into the Roshan pit and killed. So at least Tomato's doing great here in the middle lane against the Weaver.
Yeah, this is not really a game where you can be super behind on this Weaver either. Once they, Doom, very, very tanky hero in his own right. Underlord, extremely tanky. Ember, a hero that Weaver doesn't really have the means to kill on his own. So if this Weaver does fall behind, he's going to have a very hard time having a big impact. But may get a kill in Tomato here. Yeah, so the Earth Spirit rotating in, getting a nice kick, roll combination. So they do get the comeback kill on this Ember Spirit. So Weaver going to get the kill on Rubik as well. So after a kind of rough start, we're saying, oh, he may have a tough game. Gets a couple of comeback kills and is now just fine. Picking up the Aqua, the raindrop now as well, working towards that Dragon Lance. So basically on par with the Ember Spirit and net worth. So nice couple of kills for him.
Yeah, a little bit of a caster's curse right there in Ember Spirit. So much for doing so well. I mean, still doing pretty well, but obviously a big turn kill for Weaver. Bottom lane, Shadow Dance activated by Slark. He's trying to finish off Eagle right here. Disruptor actually goes down though, and down goes Van as well. They underestimated all the damage coming out between the Scorched Earth as well as the Firestorm, and now Ember Spirit joins the party as Earth Spirit is trying to chase down onto Doom right here. Smash, he has Shikuchi through, down goes Doom due to the hands of Earth Spirit there, but Weaver gets caught, and IX Mike able to secure the kill onto him. That seemed like that should have gone more for DileCom, or at least that was their game plan there, the way they were fighting it, but they underestimated, I guess, and especially with Ember Spirit coming in at the last second, completely going in Team Freedom's favor. So that's definitely going to be a boost that I'm sure that they were looking for and hoping for. And as I say this, IX Mike is in trouble once again. Dark Grip, I don't think that's going to be in time. Yeah, he will go down, and now Doom needs to be careful not to get caught as well. Pounce not up for another 12 seconds. Gonna run around. Scorched Earth is ready to go in a second, and he'll use that to run away. Now they have a Glen, no they do not. Kinetic Field though, okay, boxing him out, but not really anyone chasing.
Yep, so they do get the kill on IX Mike, overextending a little bit. But I think Freedom pretty happy with how the game is going right now. The Slark does have the Aqua and the treads up, so I was having a decent pace, but not the greatest game in the world. The Lifestealer just about on par, and the Doom and Underlords are gonna have be a massive thorn in their side right now. Is the Doom gonna come back down to this bottom lane, force Slark out of the lane? Most probably is until they have level 6 on this Disruptor and are able to catch Freedom before they get their spells off. And if this Scorched Earth gets activated, they really have no way to kill this Doom until it is off, as they just don't have the damage right now. Kind of running low on it. As Weaver Scanners down to bottom, but without a really good start on this hero, you can run low on damage with no Blightstone as well. So
now Van actually missing the Pounce connection right there. He will pop the Shadow Dance, but Rubik also nearby. Again, another case of DileCom maybe biting off a little bit more than they can chew right there. And actually nobody ends up dying from all this, but yeah, you even see Weaver now. You got the Invis Ember Spirit also in here looking to catch somebody, but DileCom falling back as a team, so they must have seen something coming up. I mean, even Slark is running away all the way back to the middle right here. So this may end up being an easy push actually for Team Freedom here at the bottom lane. But yeah, it feels like we've been focused on the middle and the bottom quite a bit. But yeah, as we're talking about, you see Lifestealer up here just doing fantastic. 4,200 net worth now. The Armlet is actually almost done as well. onto him. So
Yep, those finish it up now. Has that 9-minute 45-second armlet. Very nice timing for him. Not really anywhere he can get active in, as he doesn't have a hero that's necessarily amazing at being a carrier for him. So may continue to just sit up in this top lane, farm, push it out, and try and pressure this tower as much as he can, so this Darkseer doesn't have free reign of this top lane and jungle. As the Darkseer also having quite a nice time,
Radiant's
about on
bottom
par
tower
with the
is under
Underlord as
attack.
far as mech timing goes. Actually a little bit behind, so I actually like having a very good game in this game. And with a quick mech, Team Freedom's team fight will be very strong, as DileCom, they really want to get online as quickly as possible, use the Ion Shell, this mech on Darkseer, and just sort of run at people with their slippery cores, get a fast Shadow Blade in the Slark, and get these Ion Shells on top of them, use all that magic damage, use their team fight between the Earth Spirit and the Darkseer, but they can't get online fast enough. Freedom's team fight may be a little too strong to handle.
oh, trying to Dark Rift out in time. Oh no, it's not in time, and that's going to be the death of both of them. A good attempt, but not enough in the end to actually escape right there. That had to be maybe a second left before the Dark Rift was going to be activated and sending them back to base right there, wherever they were going. So, but they both die as a result of it not going off in time, and DileCom again really just keeping active at that bottom lane. But part of me is almost thinking it's great that they're doing that, but they just continue to lead this lifestealer and let him be. I mean, if you're DileCom here, I mean, they are up 10-5. They're getting a lot of kills at the bottom, but should they be addressing more this top lane, or is it fine with them putting so much attention at the bottom?
I don't think there's too much they can really do versus this lifestealer right now. He's has the rage, and all their disables are basically this Earth Spirit rolling in and getting a kick, and without the Disruptor ulti follow up, they really don't have a way to kill him. But with the 6 now Disruptor, they are going to look to make a move up here. The Darkseer coming up as well. It's going to be a pretty close kill with the Armlet on lifestealer, and with supports from Freedom behind him. Yeah, it's just really difficult to get this kill. They have to get a perfect, very fast silence and the kick afterwards with Disruptor ulti and multiple Ion Shells on him. So he will live there, and they use a smoke. DileCom move to mid in the meantime. Hit this tower some. Eagle picking up, looks like to be a buckler, just a casual buckler. Now gonna go for the hood as well.
Darkseer doing a pretty good job, almost surviving right there, it seemed like, actually, but the great vacuum onto all of them. However, not enough in the end. He got found by Tomato, or chased even by Tomato, who obviously has that Veil now, and for the damage, and the Remnant's just doing way too much. So big kill right there. Top lane, though, we got a fight brewing. Glimpse back on Underlord, catching him in the kinetic field. There's a Static Storm. A good displacement, but also kind of zoning out a little bit. Underlord is going to be killed. Will they be able to get more? Darkseer up in a couple of seconds. BSJ still hanging around. They do deny the tower. And actually, DileCom will actually fall back. They're not going to try to really force anything, as Darkseer instead pours to the bottom lane, really trying to finish up that mech. But you're talking about that. Yep, Underlord almost there himself. He's just about over 100 gold here before that'll be finished. But again, it keeps going back to, for me, that, BSJ in the Slash City is having great farm at fantastic start, top net worth. Who is he jumping in, though? Like, is it Doom? Is that the target he's jumping in to try to set up kills, or what?
He's just sort of a pretty decent carry. This game is very hard for the supports to do anything burst, and he's able to just kind of walk down these lanes and take the towers. I think that's sort of the role they're putting him into this game, not so much as a ganker, but more of just this not a ganker, but an ungankable hero that's able to push in these lanes. He's actually going to be going for the Maelstrom this game, so sort of more building into that mindset of not really going to be going for that ganky build, but wants to get more farm this game, scale better into the late game, as the Mjolnir is going to help him farm up. Going to give him some very good damage, and none of these heroes on DileCom really build a pipe at super early on. The Darkseer just now building up his mech, so not going to have the most magic resistance. So those lightning procs going to be doing a lot. And just overall, you can see Freedom start grouping up. They really want to team fight, look for large scale fights with the mech now up on Underlord coming out right now, and Tomato having the Veil, working on bots as well. So they have some very strong team fight, very tanky on a lot of their heroes. And DileCom are gonna have to find the initiations, gonna have to find these scrappy fights, long drawn out, kiting around, and getting on top of these heroes with multiple Ion Shells is really how they want to take these fights. They don't want to take these large, just big scale team fights where Freedom are allowed to use their ults and their mech freely.
Yeah. Yeah, Doom here. He's roaming around through the Radiant jungle. Actually getting some items delivered.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, top lane. Wow, didn't even realize Tomato lives. Sounds like he made a big escape right there. And actually he's going for the turn kill. Oh, he dodges the boulder smash, but it's not enough. That was a big attempt, but he made a big escape initially, it sounded like.
The disruptor glimpsed him out of his own ult. He thought he was about to run out of the edge, but actually the kinetic field formed, and then he didn't realize it, and he glimpsed him out of the ult. So actually letting Tomato live there. Now with no disruptor ulti, they may look to. Well,
yeah, they're fighting down here at the bottom lane. The illusions come off from the wall, and actually BSJ taking too much damage. He wasn't able to survive through that. The armlet toggle not enough. However, everyone else does pour it out, but Lifestealer, he's going to remain dead. Big gank coming out for DileCom, so they miss on an Ember Spirit, but they do secure on a Lifestealer. Again, pushing a little bit too far up by himself. Not really by himself, but not enough being there.
Yeah, and like we talked about, Freedom really thrive at these large-scale 5v5 team fights where they're able to get the mech off, able to get Doom off on a specific target and sort of run them down. But DileCom, they're going to fight at night. They're going to fight in these scrappy fights. They're going to split push these lanes. And, you know, they have a Weaver and a Slark, so they're not going to let Freedom group up and just, you know, walk down these lanes like they want to. As they really just don't have a catch here, like we talked about. They're building tanky on all their heroes. You know, they're, you know, prepping to go a little bit later in the game with the Maelstrom, build up on the Lifestealer. They don't want to get kited around. They don't want to get split push. They want to fight now, and the Lifestealer sort of be their assurance policy as the game goes later with that Maelstrom.
Man, not only does Underlord have his mech, but he actually almost has his Guardian Greaves. In fact, pretty much finished right here. So, going to be ultimately pretty decent timing on that. As Rubik, by the way, he did steal the wall from the Darkseer. So we'll see if that could also prove to be a pretty big ability use in the upcoming fight. Maybe catching DileCom off guard. Obviously, no vacuum to combo with that, but still, nice zoning tool in itself. Definitely could set up quite a bit for that team fight. Earth Spirit roaming around, gonna find Doom, but not really gonna make an initiation just yet. Okay, he's gonna be glimpsed back right there. There's a Static Storm combo with the kinetic field, and Doom's just simply gonna try to run it out, and the kinetic field wearing off, but Pitamal saving it for the time being. That Scorch Earth activated, and you see how the regen gonna dodge the bugs initially, but he knows he's dead. He's just gonna run the other direction and say, all right, you're gonna chase me this way. That's fine, or are they? I mean, they're not actually killing him just yet. Okay, finally, Smash actually does secure the job. But meanwhile, over here, Underlord is caught. However, he does TP away and survive. So ultimately, good job by Doom, pretty much distracting them, not letting them kill his teammate there in Underlord. Speaking of Doom, how do we expect to see him progress here as far as his item build goes? Is this going to be kind of a tank utility, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think just a lot of tanky items. May go for the Blink Dagger or the Shadow Blade a little bit later, so they have some sort of a vehicle for the Lifestealer, but as of now, just building into very tanky items. Vanny actually using his ult very early, so missing a big fighting tool for DileCom, but Rage used pretty early on BSJ, so they may still look to fight with a nice kick, just barely whipping their Spirit. Yeah,
infest the creep right there. Glimpse onto somebody. If I think Disruptor's just trying to run right here. Looks like he used it onto Underlord. Meanwhile, they do chase down the Earth Spirit, and now Disruptor going to be caught. And that will secure a kill onto him. So a couple of kills, meanwhile, coming out for Team Freedom. As see Tomato pushing out the top lane even more. Does have those bots finished. And that Yules is next in line. So sticking together as a team. They're going to roam towards the Roshan pit. 18-minute rune. Not there. And they're going to ward it up, actually. And yep, they are going to do Roshan. With BSJ in the front line. So you give this to Lifestealer or Ember Spirit, you think, the Aegis?
Most probably the Lifestealer. It's very hard for this Ember to die. It's pretty, unlikely that it does go down. We'll have to see, as BSJ has dropped, they both actually have an item slot. So with all this contention, they may not really care who picks it up, and may just pick it up on anyone. As DileCom do not want to give this up for free. Weaver skittering in from the back and Slark going in from the front.
There's the pounce on Eagle right there. In the background, Weaver putting auto attacks into Weaver. Doom is applied to Slark, meanwhile, and Doom himself is going to be fine for the time being. Ember Spirit going back. They have the Shrine used. They're not going to use it just yet. There we go. I'm going to make use. BSJ, though, he's in the front lines. They're not with him, so they're kind of split up right here. And Team Freedom going to lose their hard carry. They seem to be on different pages. They were falling back while the hard carry is still kind of caught in there. Doom also gets picked off eventually. And Van survives, even despite the ultimate activated onto him. Now they're going to try to finish off Roshan. As out comes the wall. That was the Rubik wall? No, that was actually the Darkseer wall being used right there. But they're going to lose Roshan now.
Yep, a very nice fight from DileCom. The Weaver going in from the back end, had a DD there as well. So it just forced the supports off of the fight. The Lifestealer just trying to finish off Van, but a really nice play from him. Didn't try and run away while he was open wounds. Instead sat there and fight and fought, realizing, hey, I can't really run away, I'm really slow. Fought until just the right point, then juked in and out of the pit, got that regen going, as Doom does not cancel Shadow Dance regen anymore when he's out of regen, when he's out of vision. So Van healing up, take down the Lifestealer, and then using that DD to bring down the Doom as well. And getting that Aegis, so the Slark really on a path to success right now, as he does have Echo Saber and 800 gold, so going to be working towards that Lincoln. So with that, it's going to be very, very hard for Freedom to lock him down. Besides that, the root from coming out from the Underlord and the Ember Spirit, as well as it being nighttime now. So DileCom really heavily favoring playing at nighttime, as it allows them to pick their fights very carefully. As the Slark having the extra nighttime vision, and Freedom, a lineup that sort of wants to run at you as 5 heroes and not really care too much about the positioning of the fight, as long as they're just getting their spells off and going onto heroes.
Yeah.
So things going definitely in DileCom's favor for now. And they look to set up bottom, maybe looking for a fight here.
Yeah, looks like it. Tomato leading the way, but everyone is here for Team Freedom. So here we go. Steering Chance Root catches this Disruptor. You got Earth Spirit out to the side. He's going to Static Storm combo, but really only catches Underlord in it. And Earth Spirit going to even miss the barrel roll, but here comes that supporting cast, including Van with the Shadow Dance. IX Mike, can they kill him before? No, Dark have canceled actually, and they get the kill on a Darks here. So that's a conscious decision right there. However, they will lose Rubik in the background. And now the root on his Slark with that Pit of Malice. Van, though, he's jumping in. He has an Aegis, remember, so he's not too worried about dying right here. In fact, he is going to go down, but he's going to come right back up. Meanwhile, Smash, he has a time left, but he couldn't use it because of the silence. And now Slark needed to get the hell on out of there. He's going to try to get away. Ember Spirit, the Remnant's going in. Not enough damage for the kill. Van, though, gets caught, and Van will fall in the end. They get the tower kill as well. That worked out so well for Team Freedom. Good cancel of the Dark Rift from IX Mike there.
Is under attack.
Yeah, it was very quick decision making, realizing, okay, we can stay and fight this fight. So Earth Spirit has the roll, should be okay, or does get rooted again, may actually go down, getting body blocked a little bit. Yeah, it does fall, so Freedom taking a really nice fight there. The Slark had to use his ult had kind of wasted his ult very early on in the fight. Disruptor getting gone on, so not able to get the proper ult that he wanted. Earth Spirit the Darks are kind of getting caught out of position as well, so not able to use the wall, and just a lot of spells not really coming out from DileCom. Getting the perfect Doom on the Weaver at the last second there, and the Guardian Greaves making a regen, making a huge impact, as Underlord just kept living with 100 HP, and they hit him a couple times and think, okay, he's gonna die to bugs and Urn, but just never did because of that extra regen. So IX Mike living there, which is a sliver of HP several times, and a nice comeback fight from Freedom, is DileCom having Aegis there as well, and kind of stunts the Slark's growth, is now just gained 500 gold in 2-3 minutes. So not the kind of net worth growth you want to see on a Slark.
Not at all. And in fact, speaking of net worth, I mean, again, you look at the chart, obviously well in favor, not well in favor, but you see the big difference all of a sudden. Basically a 4,000 net worth swing in the last 5 minutes or so at the most right here in favor of Team Freedom over here. So DileCom, Van is scouting out in the front. They get a pretty aggressive ward down. He's over at the right side. Ancient's over here, maybe looking to go down to the bottom lane. Underlord being here, but oh, actually they catch Tomato. He's going to be glimpsed. No, actually the Remnant use, and now Disruptor. He's the one all of a sudden in trouble. The TP's not going to be in time, and the chase will continue. There is a shrine up. You got to be careful if you're DileCom right here and not pick the fighter around it. They do catch Van, though. He's going to try to make his escape some way, somehow. Shadow Dance popped, and the TP successful. The vacuum combo with the wall, but there's no really teammates here. IX Mike pops a Guardian Greaves, and down goes Darks here. A lot of illusions, but oh my god, they opened the shrine at the last second. Yeah, that was actually a really good wall, but it's unfortunate that nobody else was really there to follow it.
Yeah, IX Mike was super low, and there were a whole bunch of illusions, so he kept, he was trying to get out of the wall, but his illusion kept spawning, and then it would get killed by the other illusions, and so then he gets stunned again. It just kept happening, or slowed again. It kept happening over and over. But Tomato may actually go down mid, just having one Remnant left, barely getting out on a sliver of HP. So thought they would get a little pickup kill there, but not happening. And another pretty good fight for Team Freedom, as their 5-man strength really showing. Now they're going to try and walk down this top lane. Only 4 of them here right now. The Ember Spirit not there, but he's going to heal up and bots in. So Freedom looking to push their advantage as hard as they can, and DileCom not really in the position to split push so much, but a DD on Weaver.
Oh, Earth Spirit feels like making a play. It's a glimpse on a Rubik right there, but Rubik's going to be saved. Again, the Guardian Creep's coming through. Earth Spirit gets picked off. In the background, Pit and Mouse catches a couple as Van yet again going to have to pop that Shadow Dance. He did get the kill on a Rubik at least. Poured out from Disruptor will be successful, but not the same for Darkseer. He's going to be picked off. He surges Van, or that smash right there on the Weaver to help keep him alive, and that will do it. But the push continues. All they're down is Rubik. Not much of a concern, as even Ember Spirit in the front lines is kind of having fun with him. He has a Yules now, so he's going to go. Even blinks in right there. Very aggressive play. I mean, there's a glimpse ready on Disruptor, so yeah, he's going to glimpse him back right here with the combo. Okay, never mind. He's fine, though. Have that Remnant. He's good to go. Weaver going to be caught, but he will port back. Cancer 5. BSJ going balls deep right there. Gets the kill on a Disruptor, but it's a little bit too much. And down falls the Lifestealer. And now the return on IX Might. They got the tower kill, obviously. But they do lose Ember Spirit as well on the side. And now IX Might going to try to port out. And not going to happen, though. He takes a stun, and that will be a kill onto him. So, overstaying their welcome. The classic case right there for Team Freedom. And giving some more hope to DileCom in terms of climbing back right here.
Yep, several good fights in a row for Freedom, but giving up those kills there on the Ember Spirit as well as the Lifestealer, so a reasonably big streak on this Ember, so a lot of gold flowing into DileCom's pockets as Slark actually nearing that Lincoln Sphere now, so about to close up on that is going to make their team fighting a little bit stronger as the Slark will maybe be able to hold his ult for a little bit longer. As Juby getting chased down here may actually go down as a pounce up Van, but not going to happen.
Why Lincoln Sphere on Van, you think, on the Slark here? What purpose is that going to serve this game?
I think mostly the Doom. It can also be nice versus the lift from the Rubik. But yeah, just mostly this Doom. He kind of wants to get a BKB this game versus the Chains and the Root, but you know, he can get a BKB only once and then just gets doomed, and it doesn't really matter too much. So he's going to go for the Lincolns this game. The stats also pretty nice, the regen as well. So with the Lincolns as well as the Echo Saber, basically have infinite HP and mana regen, so never have to go back to the base.
Okay.
And yeah, just overall, just a nice item for Slark. Picking it up whenever you can, whenever it's a good pickup. You have a spell like Doom that you want to block. But a little bit of a blast from the past. Looks like BSJ is actually going to be going for the Radiance this game. Huh. So realizing that he has a very hard time right-clicking versus these cores of DileCom. They don't have a vehicle, a natural vehicle for him to blink in and get a burst kill on this Lifestealer that you normally like to have. So gonna be mixing it up a little bit, going for the Radiance, maybe getting inside of an Ancient Creep, and using that as his vehicle, just sort of walking in and not letting DileCom kill him as he tries to run in and take these fights. So we saw last fight, whenever he's not with his team, they're not all just 5 together, then he dies very, very quickly to the Weaver, as he just got kind of chunked down.
Well, it's kind of interesting, too, because you look at his talent tree points, he actually went more for survivability with his build. He went 5 total stats and then 200 life on top of that over attack speed and damage. So, yeah, it kind of shows you he really is trying to play more of this want to survive. And actually, Van runs right into a trap right here as the sentry was down. Obviously, he has Shadow Dance. He's going to be silenced, though, actually, by Doom, and he's in trouble. He's going to survive this some way, somehow. He's going to get a little bit of regen as a wall. The vacuum combo comes out, but in the midst of it, Darkseer goes down as well as Slark. Just so much AoE, just so cluttered right there. End up falling. Lifestealer jumps out of his teammate. They're going to chase down Earth Spirit, knocks back somebody, but it doesn't matter. The triple kill for Tomato, playing that Ember Spirit. They just simply caught Slark when he wasn't ready. This Sentry Ward MVP, and they're going to port somewhere. They're going bottom.
Yeah, they're going to try and take the ranks here. There's no buyback on Slark and no buyback on Earth Spirit. No wall on the Darkseer, no ulti for Disruptor, so they may actually be able to get this here. Smash desperately trying to split push bottom, gets the tower with the Arcane Rune, has a DD rune bottled up as well, but not really in the best of shapes to fight. Tomato gonna go up top here and probably get a kill on this Disruptor as well.
Nope, Glimpse back. That interaction though, he's like, nah, I ain't going anywhere. Right back with the Remnant, gets the kill. Fun to watch, not so fun to play against, I'm sure. Anyways, tower goes down at the bottom lane. And that is going to be the racks for sure. Slark another 10 seconds before he's coming back up. Ember Spirit's now joining the party as well. Doing that without him. Oh, big vacuum, but not really a lot of follow-up again. He doesn't even have Magnetize to use. And actually in the background, though, they do catch Rubik. As Smash here on a Weaver is able to do a little bit of damage. But the port out's on Lifestealer, and now the rest are on the run. But Van, he wants a kill, damn it. He's going to go chase after the Doom right here. He will catch him with a pounce, and that should be a kill on the Eagle. Nothing the Ember Spirit can do. So they lose a couple of casualties, but they got the melee racks. They almost got the range racks. Well, one hit away. Still, damage definitely done by Team Freedom, and they're happy. Although Roshan is going to be up soon. We'll see if DileCom can steal this. We're checking it.
Yeah, you can see just a second ago, BSJ pinged it, just barely missing the spawn of it, and both teams know this Roshan is extremely important right now for how the tide of the game goes. If they can get this on the Slark or the Weaver, they can sort of run in YOLO, and Freedom's not able to, actually bring them down, not able to use the Doom on them. Aegis, one of the best counters in the game to the Doom, that's just sort of naturally in the game. So Freedom really does not want DileCom to be able to get that, as these team fights are just extremely hard for the Slark and Weaver to really get anything done. Less so the Weaver, as he's been having a bigger impact in these fights, has the Lincolns, the Deso, and the Dragonlance, so a little bit more farmed than the Slark. With it, Crystal is coming in now as well, so has a lot more damage. And Freedom just really don't want to give him that opportunity to get back in this game. The rack's down now.
Ember Spirit, he does have Lifestealer inside him, by the way. Ooh, they were trying to catch Weaver at the bottom lane. If he hung around just a little bit longer, maybe, but... Oh, never mind. Lifestealer not inside him anymore. He was inside him earlier, but popped out and continues to farm, so... Weaver's going to be fine, as we saw right there. Sentry,
wow, that was fortunate. Holy cow.
Yeah, I happened to catch Rubik right there. He's like, oh, I'm just going to place a Sentry Ward. Hey, look at that. Invis Earth Spirits right here. And they're going to kill him.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy fortunate.
The heals. And hey, into Roshan. Not too bad.
Yeah, perfect timing.
Everything's kind of working out for Freedom right there, and they'll take it. So, obviously, if you're DileCom, I mean, they know this, but they're going to be down Earth Spirit, which is pretty crucial. That's a fair amount of CC for them with the Science Man. Whoa, what's up here? Actually, Lifestealer's got to buy himself up here. He's going to be glimpsed back. Not going to work, actually. Meanwhile, they catch on the Ember Spirit with that Static Storm. More so just trying to get them away, as all of a sudden, DileCom being turned on. And a Weaver is going to skirt on out of there. So, nobody actually dying from that situation. Or maybe. The chase still continues. No, Weaver going to time-lapse, go the other direction. And now he needs to find out how to get out of here. Has another Shikuchi. Looks like he'll be good. But yeah, Roshan being up, obviously both teams are pretty interested in doing Roshan right here, as you were mentioning. Very significant. Oh, and that was a pick at the bottom lane. Tomato, meanwhile, just like, I'm going to solo over here. Don't worry. Gets killed Disruptor. Yeah.
Every time this Disruptor shows in the lane, he immediately TPs down to the lane. Disruptor doesn't have the damage to kill the creep before he ports in. And then just, whenever he tries to glimpse him back, just remnants back in. So, Ember just continuing to pick up this Disruptor. Really not in a great place, only with Tranquil Boots, Stick, a Windlace, and a Raindrop as well as wards. At 32 minutes, 2k net worth. And so he's really just gonna have a hard time getting any items this game. Not gonna really be able to get up to like a Ghost Scepter, a Force Staff, or Aghanims, anything like that.
Oh, they have Doom.
The Smash.
Yeah, there's the Doom. I was gonna say they took out the Lincolns with something prior, and that's a easy kill as a result. On to Weaver. Whoa, middle lane. What's going on over here? BSJ pops a Rage. Is going to the open wounds on Earth Spirit. Trying to chase him down. He has the support coming now, but Earth Spirit a little bit too mobile, perhaps. No, they blocked the the rolling boulder, that is. And yet the neutrals are actually going to kill him. Whatever. He's dead. No buyback. That's what really matters.
Yeah, no buyback on Weaver as well. With that Radiance on the Slark, it's so extremely hard. I mean, not on the Slark, on the Lifestealer, it's so extremely hard for DileCom to do any damage.
They're gonna catch Slark.
Oh,
wow. That was some big damage right there. Coming out by them. And he's dead for 70 seconds. He does have a buyback. But without the two others, I mean, it's just not going to be worth it right now. So they're definitely going to lose the middle. But yeah, that Radiance on Lifestealer. You mentioned that. I guess this is somewhat old school of a sort. I will say, BSJ, he also played Slark the other day, and he had a pretty unique build on Slark, too. He seems like one of these players that he's not afraid to do his own thing when it comes to builds and stuff. Let's do that here.
Yep. And now they have the Blade Mail as well as the Solar Crest on Axemax, so just a lot of evasion, a lot of tankiness with the casual Buckler and the Hood, like we talked about earlier on the Doom, a Force Staff as well. And now the Octarine on Ember, so they're just so tanky, and it's really hard for DileCom to get any of these kills.
Only caught BSJ there with the vacuum. In comes the Doom follow-up. He's going to take a stun, though, from the Boulder Smash. Lifestealer is getting low, but again, he has the Aegis. Slark obviously buying back, looking to finish him off right here, but BSJ not tying the toggle of the armlet. However, the Shrine use in the back row will force him to fall back, go right through the wall. He will be picked off in the end. Ember Spirit, though, picks off his brethren and Earth Spirit off to the side. And again, he will remain yet dead again with no buyback. The melee racks at about half life. Underlord still has a Dark Rift, worst case scenario to use if it feels like they're in danger. Right there, big vacuum into the wall. Gonna slow them down a little bit, but that will be the Rax kill. Ember Spirit getting caught somewhat right here, but the Yield throws himself in the air, and he will get on out with the Remnant. BSJ, oh, nice glimpse back actually onto the Ember Spirit, but again the Remnant, the counter vacuum from Ruben coming out right there. And actually gonna stall them from chasing further. Big plays from Ruben coming out. Here's a Dark Rift to send them all back as Van jumps in, only to see them disappear. They could have maybe killed Sark right there on a turn, but not worth sticking around for. They did their job.
Yeah, Smono is very, very low. His bots are coming up in 2 seconds, going to be able to throw a Remnant down, then TP back to base, heal up to full, and continue fighting. They actually not even need to.
They're fighting at the Shrine over here. 4 coming in from Disruptor. There's a Static Storm, though, on top of a couple. Science and them doing plenty, but BS Tape killing plenty himself. Ember Spirit comes back in. As mentioned, down goes Weaver, no buyback. Double kill for B. They're just all melting. That could do it right there. Triple kill. Let's go for the Ultra kill, he says. Hey, Radiance Lifestealer. It's pretty good this game.
Yeah, for sure. And DileCom with the Aegis, you know, whenever they were down bottom, took a really poor fight, and they were in a pretty good position at that point. Freedom not really at that, you know, that tipping point of where they can just sort of walk down the lanes and take the buildings. Weren't quite there, and then it took some questionable fights. Freedom getting fight after fight after fight, getting the bot racks, then taking, you know, getting a nice pick off, getting the Roshan, and just taking the game right there. So. Picking a very stereotypical Freedom draft, a lot of strong 5-man. They really just kind of want to run at you, take these big team fights, and it, you know, work to a T. And Freedom take game 2.
I don't know what it is with DileCom, but they had this issue earlier. They GG, and then they end up just leaving and just pauses the game as a result. They don't actually concede. And so here we are waiting to just finish the old-fashioned way. But anyways, the point is, Team Freedom, they are going to be victorious. And again, yeah, split the series. So it was definitely fun to watch overall. And definitely had the much longer game there, game number 1. But Team Freedom turning it on a little more quickly here in game number 2. And again, Lifestealer like the unique build worked out here. And most certainly a pretty unique draft, fun to watch. Doom himself, you know, he had fairly decent impact. His start maybe wasn't the prettiest, but the ability of Doom itself obviously pretty strong and proved to be worthwhile throughout. So there we go. It's official. Team Freedom victorious over DileCom. So they'll end in a split, but like I said earlier, you know, for DileCom at least, a little bit of a self-victory as they did get 1 win here now in the group stages. Gotta feel somewhat satisfied with that, but that means our night is gonna come to a conclusion here. Gonna start wrapping things up for the American Region Qualifiers. So CCNC, I want to thank you for joining me for this last series here. I really do appreciate it. Any shout outs, any final words from yourself?
No, not really. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me once again. Check him out, guys. CCNC Dota, both on Twitter as well as Twitch, I believe. And you can check out my
Dota 2.
Dota 2. Oh, sorry. This is Dota.
That's okay.
Did you ever play Dota, the original?
No.
Too young. All right, well, have to enjoy Dota 2 then. Anyways, guys, we're going to be wrapping things up here on the broadcast. So, again, thanks to my co-casters, both CCNC as well as Trough earlier on. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, I was Breaky CPK. You can check me out on Twitter and Facebook. Always look forward to feedback as well throughout the social media platform. So if you feel like leaving it, feel free to do so there. I will be back tomorrow, actually. Looking forward to covering tomorrow's action as well. What is tomorrow? Let's see. Tomorrow's action, we're looking at, it's going to be DC versus Onyx, and then we have Complexity versus Doo-Wop, followed by Complexity versus Team Freedom. So going to be a bit of Complexity there, and then DC Onyx even to kick it off. That should be another fun series as well. So definitely a fun day filled ahead of us here for Sunday. And that is tomorrow at the same time, 4 p.m. Eastern, or I want to say that's 1600 Central European time. So, all right, guys, officially wrapping up, though, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you next time here on the Star Ladder iLeague Star Series American qualifying action. Until then, guys, have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.